just hop on as we go. So I'm not going to spend any time tonight doing anything other than letting Brandi really take the floor. So I just want to, she's definitely not the type that's like, when I asked her for her stats today, she's like, I don't even know what to tell you. Like, what should I give you? So she's definitely somebody who's so modest and so humble. But tonight we have Miss Brandi Pope on our team call. She is going to be talking to us about challenge groups that change lives, which is what I always like to call the fruits and veggies of our business instead of the meats and potatoes of our business. But without challenge groups, we don't have much else to go off of. We have got to get people using the products, believing in the products for the rest of our businesses to grow. So Brandi is a mom of 3. She is a hair and makeup artist. She's absolutely amazing at it. She actually did, the way I met Brandi was I was doing a photo shoot with the lovely Danette Anderson down in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Brandi was the one doing my makeup that day. She is just the sweetest thing, and so she did amazing work, like absolutely amazing. And she just told me that she actually is going down to New York City in a few weeks, and she is going to be getting taking lessons or getting some expertise advice from the same makeup artists that do like Kim Kardashian and their squad, which is absolutely amazing. She actually is known as the Glam Belle on YouTube with over 7,000 subscribers. She became a diamond in 4 months in her Beachbody business. She is one of the top 50 coaches in the Southeast region. She's currently ranked number 207 in all of Beachbody. Everybody clap for Brandi. That is amazing. And she is also going to be featured in the new T25 infomercial that's coming out. So it was really cool. I followed her on Facebook and watched all of the behind the scenes of Beachbody recording her at her house. So Brandi, I'm just going to unmute you and without further ado, kind of let you take the floor. All right, you're good, girl.
All right. How's everyone doing tonight? Can everyone hear me? Awesome. Okay, so I knew Erica was like going to give this crazy big intro, which was totally unnecessary. So I decided to go with my hair in a bun and no makeup and just to counteract what she was saying. No, I told her earlier today I've been feeling a little under the weather, so if at any time I stop and I start hacking, just ignore me, okay? So sorry in advance if that happens. So just a little bit about me. I know she already told you a little bit, but I am a mom of 3 little girls. Well, not little anymore. A 7-year-old, 11-year-old, and a 15-year-old. And they keep me extremely busy, but they are the driving force behind why I do what I do in my Beachbody business. I want to have freedom to be able to enjoy them while they're, while they're under my roof, because they definitely fly the coop a lot quicker than what we think. So definitely my driving force. I am married for 16 years, and I do hair and makeup on the side. I feel like my roles have flipped. Like that was my main business, and now Beachbody is my main business, and I do hair and makeup on the side, but it is a passion of mine, and I love everything that I do. It's really, really crazy because just a few years ago, if you would have told me that I would be in the position that I am right now, I would have looked at everyone like they were insane. I have honestly been in the medical field for like 20 years of my life, and my life just definitely took a different turn, and I embraced it willingly, and I'm just so thankful for where I'm at right now. So that is a little bit about me. If we get interrupted by one of my children, I'm sorry for that too. So hopefully there won't be too many interruptions. So I am going to be talking about challenge groups that save lives. Well, save lives too, but changes lives. Because like Erica said, this is the fruits and veggies. I'm totally using that from now on. I'm writing that down, fruits and veggies, of what we do in Beachbody. Without challenge groups, we wouldn't be able to really grow our business. It would be extremely difficult to continually grow your business without running challenge groups consistently. So I felt like there's so many topics that I could talk about, but I feel like that's something that has been the biggest part of my success and why I've been able to grow quickly and add coaches to my team and just gain customers and so on and so forth has been through consistent challenge groups. So when I signed up, I've been a coach, since June of last year. So a little bit over a year. As soon as I signed up, had no idea what the heck I was doing, but I immediately said, I'm going to run a challenge group. Don't know what it is. I don't know how it works, but I know that I saw somewhere that that's what we're supposed to do. So this is what I'm going to do. Just going to jump in with both feet and just do it. And I learned my way by doing that. And I immediately gained customers. I immediately was able to get my Shakeology covered by getting customers and challengers into that first challenge group. And then it just started to grow from there, because once you have challengers, those challengers tell friends, and those friends tell friends, and it goes on and on and on. Also, how you expand your market. We could go on a whole different tangent with that. But so I have a few notes, and I won't take up a ton of your time tonight, I promise. I'll try to get through these pretty quickly. But the very first one would be inviting. Obviously, when you're running a challenge group, you have to be consistent on inviting. Posting is a huge thing, but you can't expect to just, put a Facebook post out there, join my next challenge group, something, crafty, and then expect to have 25 challengers. It usually doesn't work like that. If it does, then that's a blessing, but usually you gotta do some personal invites. I would say every single day you should be inviting at least 2 to 3 people to a challenge group, to your next challenge group. Even if you're in the middle of a challenge group, you should be consistently inviting to your next challenge group. Personal invitations. I feel like that is so important. We probably have all gotten those generic messages that says something like, hey girl, or hey guy, hey there, I've seen your post and you're doing amazing things, and I have this amazing opportunity with Rodan & Fields or It Works or whatever. And it's like, you can tell that it's something that they just like copy and pasted and they send it to everyone. There's nothing personalized about it. And I immediately shut down. Like, I'm like, that person did not care about who I am or what I'm doing. All they cared about was either trying to get a sale or trying to get me on their team. So it's very important to really personalize your invitations. It's okay if you have some type of template that you use to invite. I think that's great. Use it as inspiration. But for each invitation, definitely try to personalize it, because people love that. People love to know that you really care about them and what's going on in their life, whether it's, what their kids are doing or something to personalize it. Voice messages, I'm huge about that. I have a couple people on this call from my team. Hey, girls. They know that I'm huge about voice messages. It's so easy. It's so convenient. That Facebook tool, it can be scary when you first use it, but once you get used to it, it is so much more convenient and so much more personal. When I hear someone's voice versus getting a text message or a written out message, it means so much more, because I can hear their passion and excitement in their voice. And it just, the same way, if you were to just dial into this call and listen, you'll still get something out of it and you might learn a little bit, but being able to see the faces of people and really be able to see that in engagement, it just makes it a little more personal. So definitely personal invite. Make a list. I know we've all heard these are the basics, of course, but they're important, and sometimes we forget, even if we've been in this business for 6 months, a year, whatever it is. sometimes we forget, like make a list, and a year from now, make another list, a month from now, whatever. Once you get to that list, make another list. So that way you constantly have people to invite. Holding groups consistently. I feel like this is probably one of the biggest tips or tools that you can come away with tonight, is making sure that you're consistent with your groups. Print out a calendar, have your calendar out, and make sure to write in or put it in your calendar what dates you're going to be starting each challenge group. If you have more than one group going on, then you'll want to put, whatever you have going on in your calendar. That way you don't lose track of what you're doing, and lost my view there. What you have going on is very important to make sure to have it in your calendar, and that way you're consistent every single month. People know that you're going to have a group on such and such day for whatever, program you're doing, or whether it's a multi-program challenge group. Just make sure to do it consistently. Have it in your calendar. I have mine normally starts the first of every month, and I've been doing that for quite some time now. So people just automatically know that, hey, she starts one at the first of every month. So if I didn't get in this month, I know I can get in the next month. So that's why it's important to be consistent. Consistency creates a following. So, and I put this in there, give your no's a reason to say yes by having a place for them to go. And what I mean by that is, obviously we invite and we reach out to people and we start those conversations, and sometimes we're going to get no's. I mean, a lot of times we'll get no's, and that's okay, because what does that mean? Not no forever. It's just no for right now. Those people are still going to be watching what you're doing and following you and checking out what you have going on. They want to see that you're consistent with what you're doing. And if you stay consistent and they are able to keep up with you and keep following you, eventually they're going to want to join a challenge group. If you are not holding challenge groups consistently, they're not going to have a place to go. If they see that you have a group 1 month, in December, and then you don't have another group for another 4 months, what do you think they're going to do? If they're ready in January, they're going to find a coach that has a group going on right then and there, because now you've created that want in them to want to go ahead and do this. They want to take the plunge, and they finally want to really get on this health and fitness kick and this journey. But if they don't see you being consistent with your challenge groups, they're not going to have a place to go. And you don't want to have someone reach out to you and say, hey, I'm ready to do this. When's your next challenge group? And then all of a sudden you have to create a challenge group for them. You know what I mean? Just already have one in place. Even if you only have one challenger that month, you give your focus and attention to that one challenger, because it shows that you believe.
Hey, Brandi.
Doing.
Hey, Brandi, you're kind of froze. Oh,
What
hold on 1 second.
doing, and whether it's 1, 2, 5, 20.
Oh, we lost her. Can someone on her team text her real quick? I think she said she had 1 or 2 people on. If you could just text her real quick and let her know that we lost her. Oh, you're back. We lost you there for a minute.
I have no idea what happened.
You were like, it was like this really echoey thing, and then it was just like, bye. So the last thing we heard, I think, it was like, I don't even know, it was like probably a good 2 minutes ago.
Well, I saw it start to freeze up, and I was like, okay, can anyone hear me at this point? I'm not really sure. Unless I've made everyone fall asleep, that's why they're not moving. Okay, but
we're like, no. All right.
I think okay, so hopefully my internet connection is not bad. I don't know. Anyway.
Okay, we were at the give the no's a reason to say yes. That was the last thing that was mentioned.
Yeah, and even if you have just one challenger.
Yes, even if you have, thank you so much. Even if you have one challenger, 2 challengers, 20 challengers, they will appreciate your consistency. So stay consistent, and as long as you have it the same time every month, people are going to be watching, and they're going to be waiting, and they're going to be waiting to see when is a good time for them to jump in. So give your nose somewhere to go, okay, by making sure you have a challenge group ready for them. Number 3, using templates. I think that's a huge help. Most of you probably already know about the challenge group templates that are in your Coach Online office. I use those as guides all the time. It can be a daunting task, which is why some coaches fail to be consistent with challenge groups, is because they don't feel like posting every day. I mean, if we're all honest with ourselves, it's not the most, exciting thing to do. Every single day you get up, you're like, okay, I got to craft another post. Great. What am I going to say? I've said something for the past 60 days and I'm out of ideas, but use the template. That's what they're there for. Use those guides as inspiration. And then I like to try to personalize them in some way so that it does sound like it's coming from me and not just coming from Beachbody. But they really do have some really great posts in there. So use those to help you stay consistent with your posting. Your challengers are going to be looking for your post. When they get up in the morning, they're going to be looking, where's that post for today? Because they get very excited about their journey and they want to be engaged. So use those guides or make your own template. Sometimes this business requires a little bit of time sacrifice, and that's okay because that's part of growing any business. Set aside a little bit of time and make a 30-day or a 21-day template that is strictly from you, very, very personal. And you can use that same template over and over and over again. You can personalize it for a certain challenge group, but you can use the same post over and over again in your challenge group. So I think it's very beneficial to have some templates already set up that you can copy and paste in the mornings, or you can schedule your post. But I find that I don't get nearly as much engagement when I schedule a post. I don't know about you guys if you've tried to use like Hotlook or one of those sites where you can schedule posts, but I don't feel like I get the same engagement as when I actually do the post myself. So, but yes, definitely use the templates and make sure that your challengers are seeing the post. I think that's huge. So what I do is in the morning when I first get up, whatever time that is, on the weekends it might be a little bit later, and that's okay. But as long as I'm doing it in the morning, I feel like, hey, they're going to see it. Typically during the week, I'm up pretty early, so they see it consistently at the same time. But I like to tag all my challengers in each daily post. That way I know it, for my sake, like I feel like I need to know that they're at least seeing the post. Because sometimes, we'll be in a group. I mean, Lord, as Beachbody coaches, we're in a bazillion groups a lot of times. So you notice that sometimes you won't see a post. And you're like, how did I miss that? Unless you actually physically go to that group page and you look at the post. So I like to just tag my challengers in my post. And I'm not sure how it is. I know I can't do it from my laptop, but normally I'm doing it on my phone in the morning. As soon as I wake up, I'm copying and pasting from my phone. So on iPhone anyway, I can, when you're posting from your phone, it'll let you post everyone that's in that group. And I just have to tag each person, and I don't have to actually type out their names. So I'm not sure how easy it is for you guys on your phones. That would be a lot harder if I had to try to remember everyone that's in my group and typing their names out. I don't know if I could do that, but if you can somehow just tag everyone really easily, I suggest doing that because it keeps them engaged. If they, they may not have seen the post, and if you tag them and they see it, it automatically gets them engaged. So leading into my next point is engaging with the group. Your challenge group is going to match your energy. So if you are like just low in energy and you're not really feeling it and you're not being consistent with the times that you post, you're not responding to your challengers' post in your group or whatever the case is, they're going to match that. If they don't feel like you're being engaging, they're probably not going to be engaging either. So make sure that you stay active if you want your challengers to stay active. If you're requiring them to do a workout a day, whether you're doing the same program or not, because, if we're holding a 21-day fix challenge group for 12 months straight, you might not be doing 21-day fix for the next 12 months. But as long as you're doing a workout and sharing that, hey, got my workout in today, making sure that you're matching that energy, you're going to get that same energy back. Obviously, respond to any comments that your challengers post in your group. That creates, again, more engagement and more connection with your challengers. For most of us, we, in the beginning, we'll have more friends and family that might be a part of our group, people that we know a little bit better. But as you are in this business longer and you're expanding your market and you're getting friends of friends of friends of friends, you all of a sudden have groups that you really don't know all these people personally. And the challenge group setting is the perfect setting to really create that personal connection, really get them to know who you are, get them to see your personality, and again, get that back in return. So it's a great place to really make good connections for long-term customers and possibly coaches. So making sure that you're engaging with them. Let's see. I put in here making them feel like they have a personal cheerleader, because that's what we are. And we want to make sure that when we sell someone a challenge pack, because we value our products so much and value what we do as a coach so much, and then we put them in a challenge group and then they're left to feel like they have to fly solo, that's not gonna resonate too well. So we want them to really feel like, man, we care about their journey, not just their sale. Beachbody is all about personal connection. So making sure that you keep that personal connection going, making sure that they really feel like you are rooting for them during that challenge group and helping them get those results. Check in with your challengers individually at some point, not every day, because we have challenge groups so that we don't have to keep track of everyone every single day, because no one has time for that. I know I don't. The challenge group setting is great because we get to coach, a group of people at one time. But I do think it's important to reach out to each challenger at some point during the challenge on an individual basis and just see how they're doing, see how their meal plan's going, see how they're liking the workouts or whatever it is that you want to, tell them at the time. I think that's really important because back to that personal connection, it's showing that, okay, I'm not getting lost in the challenge group. They still see me as an individual. You know what I mean? It's like going to the doctor, and when a doctor tries to get you in and out in 2 minutes because they have 5,000 patients, you don't feel so great, but when you walk into a doctor's office and they sit down and they're like, all right, so tell me what's going on, how the kids been, how you been doing, how's work going? Okay, what's going on with you? When they spend a little extra time with you, it makes you feel like you're their only patient, and it makes you want to keep coming back because of that personal connection. So try to transfer how you feel in that situation into how you treat your challengers. Posting videos with a call to action or explaining what your group is going to be doing in a video and posting that in your challenge group at the beginning of your challenge group, I think is a huge benefit. Some people hate being on camera. They just hate it. But as a Beachbody coach, we kind of got to get used to it, at least for selfies. But I feel like getting yourself in front of the camera, and you've had all these personal connections going with your challengers that are getting ready to start. And when all of a sudden they see you on video and you're saying, hey, Michelle, hey, Becca, hey, Rosemary, hey, whoever's in this group, it's so great to have you in this group. I'm so excited about the next 21 days. You guys are going to kill this. Here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about meal prep the first week, and, just kind of give a little excerpt about what the group is going to be doing, what you're going to be covering, whatever. Make it personal, make it fun, make sure that they see your personality coming through. I promise that is going to really get them pumped up, and it's going to really get your challenge group started off on the right foot and get them excited and engaged, okay? So I think that's huge. Posting videos, and if you're not a video person, just try it. At least try it one time and just see what kind of response you get. Okay, next one. I'm almost finished. Give them a reason to stay. So we've got them started. We have a place for them to go by being consistent with our groups. We have them engaged. Now we need to give them a reason to stay. And what is that? Well, of course, one is the results that they're going to get. That's gonna get them to stay. And that's gonna come along with you engaging with your challengers and commenting on their posts, reaching out to them individually, all those things that I mentioned before. That's going to give them reasons to stay. I am a gift giver. I love giving gifts. It makes me feel good. I like getting gifts too. I think everyone likes getting gifts. So I feel like having something for them to be motivated by other than their results. That's one motivator, but that is also a deterrent if someone's not seeing results fast or what have you. So having something to dangle in front of them that will keep them going and keep them motivated, such as prizes. And you don't have to go out and spend a ton of money. You can get things from $5 and below, little fitness gifts, whatever kind of gifts you want to give. But I think it's really, really fun to have some type of incentives for your challengers. And what I like to do is I change it up from month to month depending on my challengers and the feel of the group. I kind of feel the people out first and see what will be motivating for them. But I like to have a point system. Sorry, there was a little gnat flying in front of my face. But I like to have a little point system, and each day I'll make my post, and then I'll say, you'll get 1 point for posting below, for posting a workout selfie below. Okay. And then they can get a bonus point for doing something else. So giving them a call to action and having points aligned with those actions, it's going to keep them engaged, because they're going to say, well, I really want a prize. And then all of a sudden, some people are really motivated by a little competition. And all of a sudden, they're going to be engaging, and they're going to be posting their workout selfies, and they're going to be making sure that you know, they're posting, sometimes I'll do like post of your meal prep or what you ate for lunch or whatever it is, different things. You can just be creative with it. But it gives them something to do. It gives them a call to action. When you give people a call to action, many times you'll get much more response than if you just leave it open-ended. You know what I mean? Like, make sure you get your workout in today, period. You're probably not going to get a whole lot of response. But if you say, make sure to post your workout stuff below, you'll get 1 point towards, you know, a gift or whatever. You're gonna have a lot more challengers that are going to be engaged. And then, you know, I just keep track of the points. Many times I'll wait till the end of the challenge and then I'll just add up everyone's points, what they, you know, who did what, and that's how I find my prize winner. I usually give away 2 prizes. I'll give one to the biggest loser, whoever had the best results. And then I'll give one to the person that was the most engaged. So, and a lot of times it's funny because those people will normally be the same person, because the ones that are the most engaged are the ones that are really working hard and they're getting results. So it usually, you know, obviously I'll go to the next person in the list. If the biggest loser is also the person that's most engaged, then I'll just go to the second. And that way I've got 2 people that are winning prizes. But that is a huge motivator. And I will tell you, I've had so many challengers that have said, I only joined the challenge group when I heard that you were giving away a prize. And they're completely honest with me, you know what I mean? But once they were in there and they saw that, wow, I'm really getting results, and this is more than just winning a prize, many of them have become coaches. So keep that in mind, okay? Prizes definitely motivate, and it does not have to be anything that's going to cost you an arm and a leg. I mean, simple stuff. It's just, I think, the act of giving that people are motivated by. It's kind of funny how that works, but it's definitely worked in a positive way for me. Challenger shout outs, huge motivator. Shouting out your challengers on your public page or your personal Facebook page. Oh my gosh, most of them love it. They love it. And I'll tell you, I normally ask, like, I'll message a challenger and say, you've gotten amazing results. I'm so excited. You've just been pushing so hard. Do you mind if I shout you out on my page? Because some people are like, I don't want anybody to know that I'm doing this. You know what I mean? And I totally respect that. So I always make sure to message someone before I go throwing their name and their pictures around. That's kind of important. But most of them say, oh yeah, sure, go right ahead. And they love it. And I think it's such a big motivator to be recognized for your hard work. You know what I mean? Even if doesn't mean they have to be a coach, but just to know that they're being recognized for changing their life. It's a huge motivator for them to keep going. And again, it'll keep them engaged and possibly turn them into a coach. So huge, huge, huge on challenger shout outs. Try to do it at least once a week. If you can. Thursdays are usually my shout out days. That's Beachbody shout out day, whether you're having coaches rank or whatever. But I love to use that day to shout out one of my coaches, or one of my challengers. So pick a day and use that as your day to shout out a challenger. Okay. And it doesn't matter even if they haven't lost weight. Maybe they've just been able to do, five push-ups and they've never been able to do that in their life, and you saw them post that in your challenge group. Bam. That's a great motivator. Hey, this person is pushing harder than they've ever pushed before. Whatever. I think it's awesome. I think it makes everyone feel really good to be recognized for their hard work. And finally, this is probably a no-brainer, but always, always, always keep your eyes out for potential coaches. Those people quickly rise to the surface in a challenge group. And honestly, that's where most coaches get their start. And for me, I have seen, that's where I've gained most of my coaches. I would say probably 95% of my coaches all started in a challenge group. I personally wasn't one that started in a challenge group, which is kind of funny, but most of them do start in challenge groups. And I feel like they rise to the surface very quickly. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like within a week, you can tell who has coach potential. Like if you see them interacting with the other challengers in your group and engaging with the other challengers and trying to help them, if someone posts about, well, what do I use for, what container do I use for this? And then all of a sudden they jump in and they post before you even get a chance to, you're like, oh, that person would be a good coach. You can just tell right away. So keep your eyes out for potential coaches. And after your challenge group, make sure to reach out, or even during your challenge group, make sure to reach out to those people and say, hey, I knew that you were going to rock your own health and fitness journey, but you have those leadership skills that Beachbody, that Beachbody looks for, and you'd be an amazing coach. Is this something that you've ever thought about? Telling you, people sometimes just need someone else to see the potential in them. And once they do, and they feel like they really have someone that's going to guide them, they will take that plunge. So keep your eyes peeled for potential coaches in your challenge groups, because that's where I can't say bread and butter, can I? That's where your fruits and veggies are. Bread and butter is not good either. No meat and potatoes, no bread and butter. Okay. But honestly, that's where I've grown my team. That's where I've gained so much of my success, is starting out with challenge groups and really pouring my heart and soul into changing lives, which is what we're all about. That's where this business starts. And that's where it should continue to go for you, is if you lose focus of why you're really doing this, if you lose focus of what our job really is, then you're gonna cease to grow your business. You're gonna see it kind of go downhill. So keep that momentum going forward, going up. Make sure that you're consistent with your challenge group so that you can have long-term customers and long-term, not long-term coaches, well, hopefully long-term coaches, but potential coaches. That is probably the biggest thing, because that's where I've grown my team. And it's been amazing. It's been amazing. I just signed right before I got on here. I signed a coach. She joined my challenge group 1 week ago. She's lost 9.4 pounds and she's hooked, just like that, just by joining the challenge group. It's not like she's been in 5 challenge groups before she joined. 1 week is all it took. And she said, this is it. This is for me. So keep your eyes out for those potential coaches. And yeah, just rock those challenge groups, man, because that is where our veggies and fruits lie. I'm totally using that from now on.
My team's probably sick of hearing it because I always say it. They're probably like, stop it.
I love it.
Only because Brent told me that the nutritional value of a potato has decreased over so many years, so there's no nutritional value. So now that's why I say fruits.
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
Brandi, if you don't mind, can we ask you some questions?
Sure, absolutely.
I'll kick it off because I have a few. First of all, I do want to just say that something so simple that you said, that when I messaged you and I was like, hey, I really want you to speak on my team call. Can you guys stay muted for just a second? Otherwise we'll echo really bad. Okay, thanks. You answered in a voice message, and I could hear the passion in your voice. I could hear how excited you were. So it's something so little that makes that invite just like that much more personal. And so I love that. And that wasn't a question. That was just an observation that I thought was just so little, but so key. So one of my questions though is, what do you do with your challengers after you're done? Or how long do you run your challenge groups? If you run a challenge group for 21 days and then you start one the next, the first day of the month, if somebody wants to keep going, do you add them to the next month? Do you have a big group? I know coaches do it differently. What have you found that works?
So my strategy has been, New challengers will go into say it's August 1st or whatever, they'll go into my August 1st challenge group. Once that challenge group ends, if they have been through one challenge group, I will give them the option to go through a second round. And of course, I don't use the same template every single month. I mix it up so that they're not getting the same exact post. But so I'll give them the option to do a second round. If they've been in 2 challenge groups, then I have what I call a graduate group that I add people to every single month. If they've been in a couple groups, then I add them to that. And that group is ongoing. So they'll always have the support of other challengers. They'll have my support. And they're in this group that's constantly growing and getting bigger and bigger with challengers. So can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good now.
It's frozen.
We can still hear you.
Okay. I was like, oh, it's going out. Thought it was gone. But yeah, that's what I do. I have my long-term group. Okay. Is wrong with this thing?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's my computer or my internet connection or what, but
You're fine. Well, that's really helpful. And so then do you normally run like 30 days or 21 days? Have you found that people stay more engaged in either like a length type group that you do? Oh, I think she lost us.
She's done a 5-week challenge from Thanksgiving to Christmas, which is actually where I became a personal coach. So she's been able to keep people involved even during the holidays for 5 weeks. So 5 to 6 weeks is about what I think her normal length of time is if she pushes it that far. But 30 challenges.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely feel like, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, now you're good.
Okay. I don't know what the heck's going on here. Sorry. I feel like you start to lose interest after 30 days. Like people start falling off and people just aren't staying consistent. They need like a break, and I totally get it because like my attention span is not, it's not very good either. So what I do is I do the prep posting for the first week to get them all pumped up, and the meal prep and cleaning out the fridge and all of that good stuff. And then I go into the 21 days of coaching basically. And I don't care what program they're on, they'll get 21 days of coaching. And if they want to go into my next group, then they'll get 21 more days of coaching. But I feel like after that, you start to kind of lose people. Like Becca said, I did do the 5-week group and it went amazing. And I'm actually right now I'm doing a size group with just people that are doing size. Most of the time I leave my groups wide open for whatever program they want to do. And then if I feel like I want to get a little snazzy, and I'll hold a second group the same month, which is a great way to get more Success Club points, by the way. Holding more than one challenge group is definitely a great way to grow your business, but it requires a little more work. But in my size challenge group, it's a 4-week challenge, like from beginning to end. So it'll be 5 weeks with the prep week posting. That was a tongue twister. If you got that. Yeah. So that's going to be 5 weeks, and I'm okay with that because I still have my regular 21 days, well, really 30 days with your week of prep too. And I feel like that's the perfect amount of time.
Okay, we had another question on the little texting thing or the chat thing on here. Do you let people into your groups that do not buy challenge packs?
Okay, so I used to be, when I first started, I was that coach that it didn't matter what they did. If they didn't buy anything, I was still going to allow them to be in the challenge group, because I felt like I needed to prove myself to my potential customers. You know what I mean? Now I typically don't allow people that don't buy a challenge pack into my group, but unless we've had like this ongoing conversation and I know that they just cannot financially afford a full challenge pack and they can only do the fitness program, or they've tried Shakeology in the past and they say that they hated it, I'll tell them, you just haven't found the right flavor or the right recipe, but if you want to get the program, then I'll still allow you to be in there, because you never know what posts they might see that could change everything. You know, I've had it happen in the past where a challenger has only bought a fitness program and they've ended up turning into a coach and falling in love with Shakeology months and months later. So it does happen. I don't turn anybody away, but when I'm having a conversation with them, I don't even talk about just a fitness program. I'm constantly talking about the bundle package, the challenge pack. I don't even like to call it a challenge pack because people are like, what does that even mean? But when they hear bundle package, they feel like they're getting a deal. They feel like they're really getting a really good deal. So that's what I do, and I feel like it's worked really well for me. But I don't turn people away. I will not let people in my group that don't buy something though. They have to buy a fitness program or a challenge pack.
Awesome. So I saw Ashley, you just commented on the group chat. Sorry, Brandi, it's probably so distracting. But Ashley, I think just because I know you, I know you're a new coach. I think what Brandi's trying to say is that if for your first few months of coaching, you want to allow people into a group that haven't purchased anything to kind of build your reputation and build that connection with them, it's okay. I'm with Brandi on this. I'm about 2 years into my coaching career, I guess now, and I personally do not let people into my challenge groups that have not purchased anything, and that's because nothing comes free, and I don't think that I should be coaching someone who's going to invest nothing into their fitness. With that being said, if they don't invest anything, they aren't going to get results, and then it's going to be my fault. I'm the bad coach. So that's kind of, I'm totally with you on that one, Brandi. We did have another question. So Fran wanted to know, are your groups led by only one coach, or is it a team effort? And then also with the point system, do you let your coaches or your customers just freely like post in the group, or do you like block their posting so they can only comment on your posts?
Okay, so let's see. What was the first question?
Sorry, that was a lot. I don't know why I did that. Okay, the first question is, do you run your challenge groups by yourself, or is it like a team effort? Do you let like all your team add people?
Gotcha. Okay, so what I do, normally I'm the only one coaching in my challenge groups. I have in the past done joint challenge groups where there's 4 or 5 coaches that will run a challenge group together, or I've done a challenge group with my success partner before, and it was just her and I. But what I have found, and I will say this, what I have found is when I run personal challenge groups where it's just me and I'm the one focusing on everyone and commenting and engaging, I'm getting so many more coaches and so many more people that are staying committed, versus having a lot of coaches in the group, if that makes sense. I think it's great when you need a little bit of a break and you don't have to post every day, because again, that does get a little daunting sometimes. But honestly, once you get in the habit of it, it's like anything else. Like the first thing I think of in the morning is, got to post in my challenge group. Post in my challenge group. It takes me 60 seconds, and there you go, I'm done. But I feel like when I think, I do get a lot more engagement, and I feel like I get a lot more coaches out of it because they see me as a leader for the full 30 days. And they're not getting, 4 or 5 different coaches leadership. Because everybody coaches a little bit different, you know what I mean? So I feel like to each their own, but that's just what I've kind of seen in my experience with it. And then, hold on, there was something else I was going to say about it. What was it? Oh, the other thing I was going to say about it is that if I have a new coach, I do add them to my newest challenge group, because that's part of my training is I want them to shadow me in at least one challenge group, unless they're like, hey, I've been through your challenge group and they were a challenger first and they want to just jump in and run their own challenge group. Totally fine with that. But I will allow them to be in my challenge group. And if they have like 1 or 2 customers because they're a new coach, they can add them into my challenge group and coach those couple of people. And then after 30 days, they fly on their own.
That's great. Okay, so the second part of her question was, when you do the point system in your group, do you just post and then let everybody post underneath it, or do you let them freely be posting in the group?
Okay, I used to let everyone freely post in the group until I realized that was the biggest headache for me, trying to keep track of everyone. It was impossible to go back through and keep track of everyone. So I did start, and this was from another call that I was on my team, where a coach had said, no, I turn off the whatever it is where people can just post whenever they want. They can only post on my post or comment on my post. That will get rid of the huge headache. Everyone's frozen again. Can you hear me?
You're good.
Okay. I don't know what you just heard.
we heard it all. You were just frozen.
Oh, okay, fantastic. I'm sure that looked attractive.
I did snap a picture, don't worry.
Fantastic. Yeah, you'll have to send that to me. Tag me in it, please. But yeah, so that's what I do, and I feel like it's much easier to keep track when they're only posting on or commenting on your post. You can just go through your daily posts and be like, okay, who did what? Done.
Awesome. Yay. Okay, so Jamie had a question. What do you do with challengers who don't post in your group daily? Is that required?
It's not required. Some people are very private or very, very busy and they don't have time to post, or they just, they're just not big Facebook posters. You know what I mean? Some people are just not big on Facebook, but they join a challenge group and they're excited about it. If they're not really posted on Facebook, they're probably not going to post in your challenge group either. But what I have seen is, of course, by doing the point system or having some sort of prize as an incentive, you'll see a lot more people posting because they have a reason to post, not just, well, let me cheer on, another challenger. They're probably not going to do that unless you say so. And speaking of, I think I'm not going to go down a rabbit trail, but that's a really good post for a day, is shout out one of the other challengers and tell someone what you've seen them doing well. So a challenger shouting out a challenger. Love it. It's awesome. It's always like one of the best days in the challenge group, because everyone's like, oh my gosh, this girl who I don't really even know just asked how I was doing today and if I got my workout in. And then they shout out another challenger. By the end, everyone has to shout out a different challenger. And it's a really, really cool way to get everyone engaged. So sorry, just had to share that.
Oh, that was great. No, and kind of going off of that, somebody had a question. So do you tell them that there's a prize, literally hey, look what you can get, or do you wait till the end of the group?
I wait till the end of the group, and honestly, I don't even tell the people what they're getting until they get it in the mail. It's like a surprise. They just know that they're getting a prize. And because I'm so big in the beauty industry, I'll always ask my challenger, like if they won, I'll ask them, do you want a fitness prize or do you want a beauty related prize? And a lot of them want beauty related because they're like, oh, what is she going to send me? One of her favorites, you know, and they get excited about it. So, and then normally they'll post about it on their page and they'll say, look, I just got a prize from my awesome coach. And then they tag you in it and other people see that and they get excited and want to join your challenge group. So it's a never ending cycle, which is good.
Awesome. Okay, there was one other question. So do you tell them like in your Facebook post or when you're inviting them to a challenge group, like, oh, there's going to be prizes? Is that something you do? Okay.
Yes. I usually let them know up front that there will be prizes to be won, and that is honestly a big motivator for them. And then they know in the beginning, as soon as I start doing the prep post, that hey, if you stay engaged and if you're working really hard and you end up being the biggest loser, you get to get a prize. So it keeps them motivated.
Awesome. Well, I can tell why you have such successful challenge groups because I've never had a call where everybody's so engaged that they're asking like 400 questions. So do you mind if we ask a few more questions?
Oh, not at all.
Okay.
I love it.
Everybody's so engaged in this. So somebody wrote, like, do you write a congratulations letter to like first-time challengers, or do you do anything special for like all your challengers that very first group that they're in?
I will normally reach out to each one individually and tell them how proud I am of them. And typically I'll have everyone send me their final results. Like if they don't feel comfortable posting it in the group, I'll have them send it to me individually, their inches lost or their weight loss, just so that I can have some interaction and say, amazing job, I'm so proud of you. Because again, some of them aren't engaging in the group. And I have found so many will reach out to me on that last day and say, hey, I know I haven't been active in the group, but I want to tell you I've lost 15 pounds in the last 21 days, and here's my before and after photos. And I'm like, what? Where did that come from?
It's so true. And that's the best when that happens, by the way.
Yes, I love it.
Going back to the inviting process, do you target your invites, like when you're doing your personal invites and your Facebook posts, do you target them to your specific target market, like maybe busy moms, or how do you kind of invite in that sense?
I think it all depends on the situation. When I'm doing my Facebook post, it's kind of, I usually leave it open to everyone. I don't usually market or target market just one specific group, I don't think. I think there's a time and place for that, definitely. But I feel like when you build a following and you're consistently posting about the 5 things, I don't know if you teach that, but the 5 things that you're all about, you know, whether it's faith, family, fitness, fun, whatever. And all of your posts are revolving around those things. Those are the people that you attract. So when you post about your challenge groups, you're going to get your targeted audience responding. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like I have to reach out to just moms, because if I'm constantly posting about my kids and being a mom and how I, you know, do mommy and me groups or whatever the case may be, then that's going to be the people that you attract anyway.
That's a very good point. Those are the people who are on your Facebook following you anyways. That's a good point.
Exactly.
Okay, so everybody keeps saying last one, I swear. So somebody was asking, I'm not sure totally what she means by this, if she means just by your post, but do you do all your posting on your like page and or your personal page?
I do the majority of mine on my personal page. I'm one of those people that was like so anti-like page for the longest time. And I think it's because at the time I had a nonprofit going. I had my Glam Bell page. I had my personal Facebook page. I was like, I can't build another like page. I just don't have time. And I know how daunting it can be because it takes time with a like page to really get that momentum going. So I eventually combined my Glam Bell stuff with my fitness stuff because it's all the same. It's all self-improvement. So I thought, why am I reinventing the wheel? I'm just going to use my Glam Bell page and start posting my fitness stuff on there as well. So that's what I did. So now I do post on both, but I still post the majority of my stuff on my personal Facebook page. And it's not because I don't want to post on my like page. It's just sometimes I forget. I need to get better about that, honestly. I need to be more consistent with posting on there and building that targeted audience as well. But I definitely use mostly my personal page.
That's a really good point too, is that a lot of my coaches, so you guys, when you are building your like pages, they should be based around your target market. So you should be talking about other things and then throwing your fitness posts in there, because I always use the example of Fit Rocker Chick. Like, even though she's this amazing singer, singers need Shakeology too. And I'm sure just the same thing with you, Brandi. People who love, the makeup industry and the beauty industry, they need Shakeology too.
You got it. And it's amazing, honestly, now that I have been more consistent with posting on there, I'm getting more and more of my YouTube subscribers that were following my Glam Bell page that now see my fitness post. It wasn't like, oh, now I'm turned off because she's not talking about beauty. Now it was like, oh, she's more than just beauty products. You know what I mean? And it like opened up a whole new window. And now I've gotten challengers from my like page. So it's really cool to start to see that evolve. And that is a cold market. You're reaching a whole different market of people that don't know you personally and aren't friends of friends of friends. These are people that are finding your page and they're like, what does this person have that I would like to follow? And that's what you have to be. That's what you have to be about. Like, who are you trying to target? What is your life all about that people are going to want to follow? What type of value can you give to people? And that's what you want to do with your like page. The same as you grow your personal page, really. You're not doing anything different. You're just doing it on a different page. Yeah.
It is a lot of posting though. I'm like, oh my gosh, Periscope and Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. And it's like, oh my gosh, I swear I could just post on social media all day long.
I know. It can definitely be overwhelming at times.
Definitely. So the very last question, I think this is for real the last one, is do you require your challengers to send before pictures? And even if they aren't like in the group, do you require them to send them to you privately?
I don't require it. I don't require anybody to send me pictures because I know that some people are like anti-photos. They just don't want to ever share that. But even if they don't want to share it with me, I tell them to have those pictures for themselves because Lord knows, as painful as it can be to take those before photos, in 21 days or 30 days or 60 days when they have their after photos, they're going to be so happy that they have those before photos. But I do give them my personal email address and I tell them, send me your before photos and your measurements. I'm not going to share them with anybody. Again, it's this whole creating this trust with your customer. And simply, this is part of my job and it's me holding you accountable. So now I have your stats and I want to hold you accountable to meeting your goals. It's just another way to really hold them accountable. And honestly, people do it. They will do it. And you will have people that will tell you, I would never be doing this if I did not have full trust in you right now. I would never send my photos to anyone, but I trust you and I know that you have my best interest at heart. And so here it is. This is me. And it's really gratifying to know that people really trust you that much that they will be vulnerable and send you before photos. I really consider that like an honor for them to trust me that much.
Okay, I said that was the last one, but Becca has one more question.
Totally fine.
How do you recognize people who meet or are reaching their goals other than shout outs?
I also do shout outs in the challenge group, which I think is really, really, awesome. Obviously, shout outs on your personal page, I think are really great. I do think, oh, someone was asking about personal messages or something. And I'm going to go back to that really quick because that kind of ties into this. When I send the winners their gift, I do send them a card with a little note saying, I'm so thankful that you chose me as a coach. Thank you so much for being in this group. I knew that you were going to do amazing, and you just proved to yourself that you can do this. Something to really keep them pumped up. But I do love the idea of sending like personal cards or whatever to all the challengers. If you see a challenger like really doing a great job, I think it would be a great idea to send them a personal message, personal card, or something like that. I definitely send a lot of voice messages on Facebook because I feel like that's the easiest and most convenient, and I can still convey exactly how I feel and how proud I am of them through that voice message. Because I don't know, I'm totally up for whatever suggestions people have, because I'm always looking for new ways to really recognize people.
I know I personally send a little like card. So my challenge groups, if they start the first week, the second week of their challenge group, kind of like I'll send it out the beginning of the second week so they get it at the end of the second week, right when they're about to like kind of like fade away. They'll get a little card in the mail. I mean, I have them sitting on my desk. I don't want to reach for them right now, but they're little, just tiny one pieces of paper. It costs me whatever a stamp costs, and then that's that. But it's really personal, and it just says like, I'm here to support you. We're going to go through this all the way, like whatever. And that my challengers have loved. They're like, oh my gosh, you thought of me. I never get anything in the mail. People love getting things in the mail. So I think it's better to handwrite them rather than having like a general letter that you send out. So that's just my personal information. But I am getting messages now, Brandi, that says this call was amazing, great information. I'm glad I was able to join these calls. I'm still learning this stuff, but it was amazing. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy life. And, I know you had to step away from your 3 girls tonight to do this. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much. It's bizarre to me that people actually care about what I have to say. Like, what? This is nuts. No, seriously, thank you guys for taking the time out of your schedules tonight to be on this call, because it means that you're committed to this business and what you're doing. So congrats to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night. This was recorded, as long as that's okay with you, Brandi. So that will go on, I'll put it on Facebook and YouTube, and I'll tag all y'all so you guys know that it's up.
Perfect.
All right, bye. Bye, guys. Bye. Have a good night. Thanks again, Brandi.